Hello, Professor Marcus. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm Travis Unuka. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay. Just have to get these mics set up, you know. All right. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview.
My pleasure.
Okay, so let's begin. You have posted that God is a psychotic delinquent invented by mad, deluded people. Is that how you feel about God? Do you care to comment on that?
I didn't post quite that. I posted something rather better than that.
Okay, well, yeah, please tell us what you said.
Well, I'd have to log into Facebook, so...
No, please, that's fine.
The God of the Old Testament is arguably one of the most unpleasant characters in all of fiction, jealous and proud of it. A petty, unjust, unforgiving control freak, a vindictive, bloodthirsty ethnic cleanser, a misogynistic, homophobic, racist, infanticidal, genocidal, filicidal, pestilential, megalomaniacal, sadomasochistic, capriciously malevolent bully.
So that's what you think of God?
Yeah.
How about if people believed in a God of infinite lovingness and kindness and forgiveness, you know, and generosity, sort of like a modern day God? You know, why spoil it for them?
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. I mean, I post statuses, people can read them if they want to. I believe it's a liberating thing to free yourself from primitive superstition.
So you believe religion's a primitive superstition?
Oh yes, I think it is, yes.
And so you believe it's liberating to tell people that there is no God?
I think a lot of people, once they give up God, feel a great sense of release and freedom.
Well, why do you think that? I mean, what's your science? What's your data?
Well, I've had a lot of inboxes about it.
There's 9 billion people on Facebook, Dr. Marcus. I mean, how many messages could you have had?
Well, yes, that's true, yes.
Professor Marcus seems so convinced that God didn't exist that I wondered if he'd be willing to put a number on it.
Well, it's hard to put a figure on it, but I would say something about 99% against.
I mean, why 99% say, you know, 97%?
You asked me to put a figure on it. I'm not comfortable putting a figure on it. I just think it's very unlikely.
But you couldn't put a number on it.
No, of course not.
So it could be 49%.
I think it's unlikely, but it's quite far from 50%.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I put arguments into my statuses.
Well, then who did create the heavens and the earth?
Why do you use the word who? I mean, you immediately beg the question by using the word who.
Well, then how did it get created?
Well, by a very slow process.
Well, how did it start?
Well, nobody knows how it started. We know the kind of event it must have been. We know the sort of event that must have happened for the origin of life.
And what was that?
It was the first self-replicating molecule.
Right. And how did that happen?
I told you we don't know.
So you have no idea how it started?
No, nor does anybody else.
Nor does anyone else?
No, nor does anyone else.
Nor does anyone else?
Nor does anyone else.
What do you think about the possibility that intelligent design might turn out to be some of the answers to the mysteries we see in genetics and Darwin's evolution? Do you think that might be possible?
Well, it could come about in the following way. It could be that at some earlier point in the universe, a civilization evolved, probably by some Darwinian means, to a very high level of technology that they then seeded onto perhaps this planet. Now, that is a possibility, and an intriguing possibility at that. I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that. When you look at the details of biochemistry and molecular biology, you might find some sort of signature of a designer.
Wait a second. Marcus Lutar thought intelligent design might be a legitimate pursuit?
And that designer could be of higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe. But that higher intelligence itself would have had to come from some explicable or inexplicable process. It couldn't have just jumped out spontaneously into existence. That's the point.
So Professor Marcus was not against intelligent design, just certain types of designers, such as God.
So the Hebrew God, the God of the Old Testament, he doesn't exist in your opinion?
Well, certainly that would be a very unpleasant prospect.
And the Holy Trinity of the New Testament?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Do you believe in any of the Hindu gods, you know, like Vishnu or something like this?
How can you ask such a question?
You don't, right? I just want to make sure.
How could I? I mean, why would I, given that I don't believe in any others?
You don't believe in any of the Muslim gods?
Why do you even have to ask?
Well, I just wanted to make sure you don't believe in any god anywhere.
Any god anywhere would be completely incompatible with anything I've just said.
I understand this. I just wanted to make sure. So you don't believe in any god anywhere.
No.
What if after you died, you ran into God and God said, Marcus, what have you been doing? You know, I gave you thousands of likes on your Facebook page. I made you a good-looking guy. You had a good life. And look what you did with it. I mean, what would you say?
Yeah, well, Richard Dawkins had that point put to him once, and I believe he said something along the lines of, Sir, why did you take such pains to hide yourself?
Marcus Lutar, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this interview.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
But if the intelligent design people are right, God isn't hidden. We might even be able to encounter God through science if we have the freedom to go there. What could be more intriguing than that?
When you were here before, you couldn't look me in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I were special. You're so very special, but I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. Want the perfect body. Want the perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so very special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. Oh, what the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Oh, she's running out again. Running out. She's running. She's running. She's running. Running Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want, you're so very special. I wish I was special.